Hey everyone, welcome back to Art of the Riff. Today we're looking at the Gates. We're going to look at the Slaughter of the Soul album, which came out in like November of 95. I would say this album is more influential from the Gothenburg scene than say even In Flames at the time. In Flames went on to become hugely successful, but they also kind of went like in a Korn direction for a while, all kind of more mainstream directions. Back to Slaughter of the Soul. Slaughter of the Soul, when it came out, I probably didn't get into it till like 97, 98. It had already been out for a few years. But back then, this album was really just, it was kind of like the pinnacle of melodic death metal of the Gothenburg sound. It was recorded at Studio Fredman, who was famous for the Fredman miking technique that everybody uses today. The two SM57s, one at an angle, one straight on. And the tone on this album was just killer. It was the melodic riffing from Sweden, but it was done like a higher level of technicality than some other bands at the time were doing. The tone itself on the album was amazing, which I believe was an HM2 and a Metal Zone. Don't quote me on that. It's definitely not the DS1 HM2 Stockholm sound, because this was more tighter. So I think it probably is the Metal Zone with the HM2. We're going to check out some riffs from this album. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to start with Blinded by Fear. Now this riff is basically like the prototypical melodic death metal riff. If you're wanting to play death metal and you're wanting to learn how to write that style, this song is like the perfect example. Let's go ahead and check that out now. Okay, up next we're going to check out Cold, kind of like the chorus riff. This riff is just, it really like showcases the melodic style of the band. The way the notes melodically lead into the next chord, it's just really well done, really well written. Let's check out Cold. All right, up next is Under the Serpent Sun. The trim riff on this was back in the day. This is the kind of riff when I was first learning to trim, it was slow enough, but also cool enough to make me want to play it. And it's the perfect riff to try to learn trim picking if you're not a very good trim guitarist at the time. Great melody, great just vibe. Check it out. And all right, up next we have the song Need, which melodically, again, it's very well structured. It's the kind of riffs that you would have heard. It's the kind of riffs you would have heard on some of the earlier to midpoint In Flames stuff. Like, this album basically just influenced everybody when it came out. They were all trying to do this album. Everybody in the States started to try to do this album. They were like, holy shit, this is badass. So here we go. Check out Need. All right, and that's been my video on At the Gates. I might have to just go In Flames next because this style really resonates with me. This and the band Death Chuck, those were the two things that made me really want to play death metal, really gave me the inspiration. So maybe I'll do In Flames next. I don't know. We'll see. See you guys in the next video.